This is an ABC News special report. Now reporting, David Muir.
Good afternoon from ABC News headquarters in New York, where we are following breaking news coming in out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida at this hour. These are aerial pictures at the Fort Lauderdale airport, where a short time ago we learned of a shooting incident inside the airport. It's our understanding it was in Terminal 2, the baggage claim area, that the shooter opened fire. We believe multiple people hit, though there are no reports on whether or not anyone was killed in the incident. Authorities do believe that the shooter is in custody. That's early word coming in, and my chief investigative correspondent Brian Ross sitting here at the desk with us following these developments. We do believe the shooter is in custody, Brian?
That is the report, David, with, as you say, multiple injuries, no indication of how serious those injuries were. It did take place in the last 45 minutes or so at Terminal 2 in the baggage claim area. This is a particularly busy time of the year for the Fort Lauderdale airport with the great weather down there and the cold weather in the northeast.
And for those of you just joining us, you're looking at aerial pictures there of the Fort Lauderdale airport. The airport, in fact, tweeting that there is an ongoing incident in Terminal 2. The baggage claim, as I mentioned a short time ago, as Brian just confirmed, the shooter is in custody. Let's bring in David Curley, who covers aviation for us. And David, the question is, we know it was in the baggage claim area, but it's unclear whether or not it was in the secured area, if it was behind the perimeter that usually defines whether or not it's secure before you come out to actually get your bags.
Right. It's in any terminal. You see that sign that you are leaving a secured area. You come into the baggage claim area where you see the belts, and that area is usually not as secure. That doesn't mean that there aren't police officers in the area. And these terminals at Fort Lauderdale are kind of between the runways, and they're 2 is one of the larger terminals that they have there in Fort Lauderdale. So there could have been a number of people who were collecting bags there as well, David.
And we see the people actually congregating there, it would look like, next to the plane on one of the jet bridges. Just look at the sheer number of people there, not to mention what the scene must be like inside the airport. I want to bring in Pierre Thomas, our senior justice correspondent, who's also following developments as they come in. Pierre, what have you learned?
Well, I've been on the phone with senior Homeland Security officials. They're trying to get additional information from the airport. FBI officials also are checking in to get a handle on exactly what this is. Again, with the shooter supposedly or a suspect in custody, that will move things forward pretty quickly. But again, law enforcement at the federal level are very interested in what is happening there. Again, so much concern about the holiday season, and Homeland Security has been concerned, along with the FBI, issuing bulletins that there was concern through the holidays, through Martin Luther King holiday, and also the inauguration. So that is one reason why the federal authorities are so interested in what's going on there.
We now believe, Pierre, thank you for that there were 9 people injured at the airport. And again, for those of you just tuning in, there is an ongoing incident. Terminal 2 baggage claim, says the airport. That's the tweet that they sent out, though it's now believed the shooter is in custody at the Fort Lauderdale airport. But as I said, multiple people actually hit by the shooter. Pierre Thomas reporting just moments ago that federal authorities are now actively investigating clearly who this person was, and the fact that they are in custody is going to help move that investigation along more quickly than perhaps we typically see in a situation like this. And you're looking at live aerial pictures, Brian. You can only imagine the people on the tarmac there, the concern they have.
That's right, David. And it's standard operating procedure to evacuate the terminal to make sure there isn't a second or a third person who might be connected to the person they now have in custody, who's being described as a shooter, motive unknown.
But we should point out, Brian, that at this point, no information leading us to believe there was more than that one particular shooter, though that is an immediate question they will ask.
That's right.
Again, 9 people believed to have been shot at the Fort Lauderdale airport this afternoon. It is unclear the extent of their injuries. If anyone perhaps died in this incident, they have not confirmed that yet. They will only say 9 injuries reported after a shooting there at Terminal 2 in the baggage claim area. We do not know whether that was in the open area when you're allowed to walk in and actually greet family members or loved ones when they're getting off of a flight, or if it actually happened beyond that demarcation where security begins, where you're coming off of a flight before you even get to your bags. Obviously, we'll learn more about that. You can see there's some movement now. Perhaps they're allowing people to now go back to the airport. But again, the shooter is in custody. Multiple people shot. Fort Lauderdale. 9 is the number they're giving us right now, and we'll continue to stay on this story. You can follow it all afternoon at abcnews.com, and of course we'll have team coverage tonight on World News Tonight. Until then, good day.